Hi everybody, how y'all doing? And welcome to the Ice House, where we try to keep things cool, calm, collected, and mostly a bit chill. Well, as you all know, Christmas is right around the corner, so as far as chill things go, if you're lucky to have 4 seasons, or maybe 3 seasons in that nice cold snap that's coming up, you're probably dreaming of a white Christmas too, right? Because I don't know about you, but one of the best ways that I've found to, bring in the holiday spirit, in either when I'm preparing to hang out with friends and family, or when I'm, smack dab in the middle of holiday times, is pulling out a good old Christmas classic holiday movie, and gathering around, snuggling up, getting your favorite warm beverage, and just enjoying the time together, right? Because I really do think one of the reasons these Christmas movies, they have their own genre, and why even a Scroogewaddle like me once in a while is willing to watch a few every year, is because there's just something heartwarming. There's something, I don't know, maybe it's the traditional family values, maybe it's alluding to something, bigger, and I don't know. But I can tell you this, that a lot of these Christmas holiday classics, the ones that we keep going back to every year, right, the ones that we really feel are Christmas movies, not the ones that we debate because they're just in winter. You know what I'm talking about? But I digress. But what I actually am talking about is these heartwarming movies that have a theme of wholeness, of restoration, because maybe not every movie is a Miracle on 34th Street, but in a lot of these movies, back from Bing Crosby era, and the song and dance sort of variety show hour sort of thing, to It's a Wonderful Life, which definitely is a little bit heavier than some, even to Home Alone and Christmas with the Cranks, and all the things that we've had all the years in between, is there's always something that is disconnected, broken, damaged, whether it be a relationship, whether it be some sort of something taking away the warmth, something that there's some sort of sadness, some sort of, something's missing or wrong. And a lot of these Christmas movies that have stood the test of time, by the end of it, whatever that tension was, whatever that loss was, something is made whole, something's restored. Relationships, families, the kid that got left home alone, his mom showed up to be there with him, and not to mention Home Alone, whether it was New York or the original one, there was always that old person in the park or whatever around that definitely had his back and looked out for him. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Because it's just this thing about even in Christmas movies that even strangers are looking out for each other. And it's just this whole thing that maybe we're not so entirely screwed, right? Maybe there's something to that. And I really do believe that these movies are why they're so important and so valued, as not just to watch, but as a shared experience, because being able to watch these as a tradition year and year again is definitely a shared experience that we all get to enjoy together, and it kind of feels like you're all gelling and cohesing together when we get to have those moments. Like I said, I'm a Scroogewaddle, so I only do it so often, but still. Which brings me to the fact that there's a lot of movies that come out every year that don't necessarily become instant Christmas classics. Some feel like a cash grab. Some feel very well produced, but you're kind of wondering, just because it had big names, what was going on with it. Which brings me to this year's, current banner-ridden, advertised movie that I decided to watch this week because I wanted to break from life and thought I'd try out something new that I'd heard mixed reviews on. Yeah. And without further ado, I decided to watch Red One, right? The one that's included with Amazon that I think came out in the theaters like a month ago. Now it's just on Prime included. And I mean, with that big banner showing up all the time when I turn on the TV, eventually I'm gonna click on it, right? So I did. And then, well, 2 hours later, I had some thoughts. And one of my biggest takeaways, pretty quickly, is that this was the kids' movie that was made for adults. Because it alludes to a lot of things and a lot of different tropes, but it doesn't really, well, I feel like it's trying to do too much, maybe. You know, like, kind of like when you're playing as a kid with all your different toys and you've got a few friends together and you want to do this and save Christmas, but they think we need to do this and go this way, and, well, you have G.I. Joes, and then somebody brings in, you know, the X-Men, and then somebody has their He-Man, Beast-Man, and so you're like, okay, we gotta make this work, right? So each of you is kind of telling your own different version of the story, and so you take turns trying to narrate, and eventually get to the end, but sometimes it's a little confusing, rabbit trailing, lots of dead ends on the way to get there. Kind of like that TV show Lost, right? They say the beginning was written, and the end was written, but in between, we're not really sure what they were doing, but somehow they got to the end, and I was still lost. Get it? Right. So, like, when it comes to Red 1, I feel like they were trying to do the buddy cop thing with Chris Evans as the reluctant sidekick, and, well, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as the straight-laced Boy Scout sort of thing, which, mind you, is kind of entertaining because with the way the MCU has been going and flopping around, and, well, we're not sure what's next. It's doubtful that we'll see Captain America and Black Adam in a scene together in the future and have sort of this, like I said, the Boy Scout being Evans and the smart aleck being Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, right? So it's kind of a role reversal of something that may never really happen, but it's kind of a fun juxtaposition nonetheless, right? So you have the buddy cop thing, and then you have the nod to, you know, the restoration, because, you know, you're trying to find Santa, and, well, I'm not going to spoil things for you, but being a Christmas movie, there's probably can expect some of the interpersonal things that come up along the way, and as you get to know the characters and the main thing of finding Santa, right, you might get some happy endings, right, like I said. And the other aspect is the fact that there's a lot of playing with mythos and Christmas mythos and beasts and kind of the fantasy realm, that kind of playing on stuff that you were used to now seeing from anime and manga from that side of the world, right? Because Dwayne Johnson is Elf, but that's an acronym, so he's not this tiny little guy. But we also see in the previews that he has this technology to change the size of things, so kind of in the way that a Wookiee to an Ewok, seeing Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as full-size Elf, and then maybe see him kind of tiny running around too, like a discount Ant-Man, right? Yeah. Anyway, like I said, it was fun, but it definitely felt like I said, the kids movie that's not for kids, because all these references of the anime, manga, some of the more adult themes, like I said, there's a couple swears and a couple sections of the beach scene that seemed like they were trying to target a more adult audience for ratings, I think. But I think if you cut that out and edited this down to like 90 minutes, it might be a more cohesive movie. So I liked the concept that they were going for, but I think they tried to do too much and didn't know what they were doing halfway through, because, like I said, there's certain sections that really feel cohesive. It's just the other sections in between don't match up as well. But like I said, it was a fun 2 hours of disconnecting and pondering like I like to do, so yeah. I do kind of think that it is a reflection of the Toys R Us generation, where, you know, all the stuff, the nostalgia from the 90s and all the references of the things that we've learned over the years as we've grown up. You know, as the toy market has sort of stayed aimed at us as we grew up in our 30s and 40s now in the collector's market, that there's a lot of things that, if they were tweaked, they could be really good family movies, really family friendly, but they always kind of push that level to make them more of that young adult to adult section, which, like I said, is fun for us, but I think there's definitely something to be said about giving that heartwarming, wholesome, full family experience, right? Fun for the whole family, that we can see the depth as we grow older, but there's something for everyone. Because I think even we're seeing in entertainment, and even Disney announced this week that maybe there's things that we don't want in our kids' movies and kids' TV shows because we don't want them to grow up so fast. Whether it be the nostalgia and all the stuff and all the toys that, well, are aimed for the 40-year-olds instead of toys aimed for kids, or just the let's let them experience life and see what it is, and give the family a chance to talk through things before, well, we force them to grow up too fast and introduce concepts that maybe they don't really need to know about yet, or be forced to choose things yet. Because in the same way that there's a lot of our generation, each generation is mad that they were forced to grow up too fast and they weren't allowed to be kids. Can we try to maybe keep, pay that forward to the next generation in the positive way? Well, that's just a thought. Anyway, I really hope you guys are ready for a good holiday season and, able to enjoy it with family members and friends. And I would love to hear some of your holiday traditions, like the movies you guys sit down and watch together, or maybe some of the holiday beverages you guys like to make, or anything like that, because, well, 'tis the season, right? And you can go ahead and like and subscribe and share if you want and all that. But I appreciate y'all being here, and I don't want to grow up too fast either, so I might be a Toys R Us kid too. Well, enjoy playing with the toys, and anything else you do this next week, and we'll see you later. Bye.